Now,
on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
O'Connor and Company.
Good Monday morning to you at 7:07. It's O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here. We got a busy day ahead of us. Every day is busy these days. 8:05, Sal Lagonia. He's a attorney, pilot. He's a expert on commercial flight. We're going to talk to him about what your rights might be if you get delayed, because, boy, the summer travel delays have been extraordinary this year. Then at 8:35, once you do get to your destination for vacation, do you want to go in the water? Tom, the Blowfish Herd, is going to join us, talk about Shark Week. Why do they, and also cocaine sharks in particular, why do they schedule Shark Week for the time when everybody's heading to the beach and have vacation?
Right. I'm already scarred from Jaws.
Yeah. Dude, that was 40 years ago, Julie.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Julie Gunlock, Larry O'Connor, and we're joined by Joe diGenova, former U.S. Attorney to the District of Columbia. Gee, Joe, I mean, we had a little bit of development last week in the ongoing investigation into Joe Biden. Where do you want to start? The IRS whistleblowers and the corroborating evidence there, or the 1023 form released by Chuck Grassley's office? Take your pick.
Well, it's hard to know where to choose from among this cornucopia of corruption that the Biden family presents us every day. What I find fascinating is I've been watching some of the networks that I usually don't watch, like CNN and MSNBC. Mm-hmm. It is remarkable how knowingly corrupt these people have become. It's hard, once in a while you see a glimpse of it in a news clip, but when you watch it and you listen to it, it's almost as if it's a pathology of wanting to be false and wanting to lie. And it is because the only way you cannot see how corrupt the Biden family is to willfully deny the truth. And that's exactly what's happening. That we are now beyond any question. I was watching this morning. I was watching a little bit of Fox, and I'm saying, well, we still don't have proof that Joe did X, Y, and Z. It's the type of when you abandon logic and the rule of reason and inference drawing from all the reasonable facts, you end up in a very dumb place, which is where people like the morning show hosts at Fox end up all the time. We just need a little bit more. No, you don't. It's over. It is now clearly established that the Biden family, since the 1970s, has engaged in a plan, a plot of extortion on behalf of the family by using the public office of the father of the family, Joe Biden, and the using of the son Hunter as the implementer of the scheme. If this were any other family in any other place in the United States, there would be a massive grand jury investigation into the finances of this family. And by the way, it's not hard. For those of us who have conducted complex financial investigations using a grand jury, subpoenas to banks and third parties, and actually to the Treasury Department, give evidence that is unequivocally, without a doubt, shows that tens of millions of dollars went to the Biden family. Fair enough. Where did it go? What accounts did it go into? How many limited liability companies that they set up, cut out companies? But most important, what did they do to earn the money?
Yeah.
And the answer is they did absolutely nothing except sell the influence and policy control of the big guy, the daddy, Joe Biden. This is over. Anybody who says that there isn't enough evidence is a liar, or they're just pretty dumb.
Joe, you as always walk me into the next line of area of questioning here, because you mentioned how easy it is to investigate something like this and what you would do to go through that investigation. So let's focus a little bit on that compelling testimony from the two IRS whistleblowers who, again, we must reiterate, literally have no reason to lie. In fact, they have every reason to keep their mouth shut the way this town works. But they came out, they told their stories. What was your impression as an investigator, as a former U.S. attorney, when you heard all of the roadblocks that were put in place, when you heard how the clock on the statute of limitations was allowed to run out without any real investigation, and when you hear the mixed messages about the U.S. attorney, Mr. Weiss, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm the only word here, I'm the final word," and then the whistleblower saying, "Actually, he told us the exact opposite." Someone's lying here, and clearly it looks like there was an obstruction of justice campaign going on.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And the senior parts of the IRS and the FBI and the DOJ were involved in it. The two IRS whistleblowers who testified are completely credible. Speaking as someone who has worked with those types of IRS agents in tax and corruption investigations, I can assure you those gentlemen know exactly what they're talking about, and the Democrats did not lay a glove on them on the facts. They may have done their little glancing blows about this, that, and motivations, but the truth is not a single fact that those two gentlemen testified to has been refuted. And David Weiss, this useless embarrassment of a U.S. attorney in Delaware, has sent numerous letters, so many letters to clarify everything he sent the first time, shows you that when you lie a lot, you have to clarify a lot. And Weiss has lied repeatedly through his letters. The truth is he buried this case, and he buried it because it involved Joe Biden at the very pinnacle of this criminal scheme, which stretched 50 years, is Joe Biden. The grifters who run the state of Delaware are at the top of this scheme. And these IRS agents knew that, they smelled it, and they were denied the investigative techniques that are necessary to prove the truth. This case is over. This is over. And the notion, what I cannot stand is listening to some of these Republican members in the House say, well, we've got to get a little bit more. We need this. We need that. That's fine. But what they need to keep saying, if they want to say that, they need to say that we have already reached the point of evidence, on the scale of evidence, that the burden is now on the president to prove that he didn't take the money. And when he asked that nasty, sarcastic question of a reporter on the tarmac, remember what the president said laughingly? Where's the money?
Yeah.
Where's the money? He said it, but then he said, I'm only joking. No, that's not a joke, Mr. President. Where is the money? Who did it go to in your family? And where are the tax returns for all those members of the Biden family? Where is the tax investigation of the entire Biden family? Not just Hunter. Joe and all the members of that family should be actively under criminal tax investigation right now.
Joe diGenova, it might not come as a surprise to you to learn that we have more questions for you, and there's a whole lot in this story and a whole lot in the news, and also the political ramifications, because we are in the middle of a presidential election. Oh, and by the way, the judge has named the court date for President Trump in the classified document case. It's right in the middle of next year's election. Can you stick with us for one more segment, sir?
Oh, I think we can arrange that.
Oh, excellent. Joe diGenova is kind and gracious and generous with his time once again, so we'll get to him in a moment. But first, all right, Joe diGenova, I got to hand it over to my pal Julie here, but one real, and I do need a quick answer on this one before Julie gets in. At this point, with the obstruction that you've seen and just detailed, with the hapless performance of the U.S. Attorney and the Justice Department and the FBI, and no indication from the American people that we're actually getting a real investigation here, what's the next step? Is it special counsel or is it impeachment?
Well, you can't have a special counsel from this Justice Department because Merrick Garland is now totally compromised, and he will only pick someone who will not do a thorough job. So it has to be impeachment.
All right.
And that, as uncomfortable and ugly as that is in a democracy, we seem to have survived quite well 2 impeachments of Donald Trump, useless, ill-founded, politicized impeachments. This one has real facts in it. And I think the Republicans in the House are having a difficult time reaching that conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some news of them going after Garland first. Is that going to happen? Are they going to try to remove Garland first before moving on?
Well, they're not going to remove him because it'll go to the Senate where it'll be scotched by the Democrats. But impeachment is a statement. In other words, the Democrats were quite satisfied knowing they would lose in the Senate when they impeached Donald Trump twice.
Right.
And the Republicans should be equally satisfied with an impeachment because Nancy Pelosi is doing everything she can to stop the expungement of the 2 impeachments against Donald Trump that McCarthy is talking about doing. No, impeachment is the way to go, and Garland has to be impeached. There's just no other option. When you have an attorney general as corrupt and as politically driven as Merrick Garland, who is destroying the rule of law in the United States, you have to impeach him, even if you think he's going to be acquitted in the Senate.
Joe, you first brought to my attention, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, in the middle of the Russian collusion hoax story, you brought to my attention the FBI and the intelligence community's use of 702 data in connection with FISA collection of raw surveillance information. And these were warrantless searches. You can just go in, put somebody's name into a database, and get all of these hits of surveillance information that a warrant was never pulled on. We've now learned from the FISA court, I'm sure you saw, a judge that oversees it, that they're going to continue a lot of the FBI to use this 702 data, despite the fact now we've learned that it continues to be abused, including the search of a U.S. senator's name. Joe, what needs to be done here? Because this sounds like you've got a federal judge saying, oh, you did all these awful things, but behave yourself next time.
Yeah, well, this judge, Judge Contreras, is also a judge with a very checkered background. He's a big forgiver.
Yeah.
He loves to forgive the FBI for making errors in the FISA process. He's best known for forgiving all sorts of errors involving FISA. So he gives this opinion where he sends this letter saying this was awful, but you know what? The FBI has taken great steps since then, and I'm sure this is all going to be reduced. That's laughable. That's not a judge. That's an apparatchik. And what we've seen here is, remember, 702 is for the use against foreigners. It's you go in and you get information about foreigners. What the FBI has been doing is using the hook of being interested in a foreign matter to get information about Americans, pure and simple, with no connection to anything foreign. That's illegal. It should be actionable. And the answer to this problem, because FISA is up for reauthorization this year, it expires as a matter of law at the end of this year. The answer is you either let it die, which would then give all of that power to spy back to the president with only constitutional controls, or you amend it to create all sorts of safeguards to stop the kind of thing that Judge Contreras apparently thinks is just fine. Remember, at the end of the day, what Judge Contreras is saying, he says, there were some problems here, but they've been fixed. That's BS.
Yeah.
What kind of federal judge worth his or her core can sit there and write that crap? This guy is a joke as a federal judge. And so the notion that he's riding herd over that, you can forget it. He's allowing the Bureau to break the law. And the way to fix this is to create an ombudsman for that court. If you're going to have this, no warrant, no searching until a third party says, FBI, you can do it. And if you need emergency searches, you go to that's what the court's there for. You call them up in the middle of the night, get them, all three of them on the phone, and you say, look, guys and gals, here's what we want to do. You're going to let us do it or not? And that put these judges on the hook. And by the way, stop making us wait 2 years to have these letters declassified to find out that there was illegal spying going on. As soon as they find something illegal, it needs to be made public. And that needs to be part of any reauthorization.
Speaking of judges and election meddling, what do you make of the court date? We were told now mid to late May of next year is when the court date will be for President Trump's trial. I don't know. It seems like he's going to be kind of busy running for president at that time.
Well, I think the judge did what she had to do, which is manage her calendar, set a date, which she knows is never going to happen because the classified document questions are going to be so complex. For example, they're talking about using the Classified Information Procedures Act. Well, okay, that's fine. That's what it's there for. But let's see, the jury is being asked to make a decision about these documents and say that each one of them that's named in the indictment is a violation of the Espionage Act. But in order to do that, they have to read the document to be able to make that judgment. So are you going to allow the jurors to read the document, or are you going to give them an expurgated version? I don't think you can do that and have a fair trial. This is going to take a long time, and that trial date, I predict, will never happen.
This is the whole idea, though. They want that for political purposes. They want this hanging over Trump's head during the entire election because it's a political win for whoever's opposing Trump.
Of course, and the problem for President Trump is there are going to be two more indictments. Jack Smith is going to indict him in D.C. for some Civil War violations of denying people the right to vote. He's not going to do rebellion and insurrection, apparently, but maybe he is. We don't know. He's such a nefarious guy. I mean, this guy, Jack Smith, is disgraceful. This is the best the department has to offer. What a weasel. He's unbelievably nefarious, unethical prosecutor. And, the bottom line is he's going to have that case with Jack Smith coming. So that'll be the third one. And then the fourth one in Georgia, because make no mistake about it, Fani Willis in Georgia is going to indict President Trump and a number of other people in a racketeering conspiracy under Georgia law. And the Georgia courts are going to love it. They're not going to do one thing to get in the way of it. We are in for one of the worst rides in the history of America. And every single step has been brought to you by Democrats, all Democratic prosecutors, all going after a former president, all not caring about the damage that they're doing to our constitutional system. What a bunch. Aren't they just great? These are the good government people.
The one upside of that bad road we're about to go down, Joe, is that we've got you, at the very least, every Monday morning at 7 o'clock to fill us in. Because, listen, the WMAL listeners, thanks to you and thanks to our coverage, they're well more informed than anyone who reads the New York Times to stay on top of these things. That's for sure.
Please don't read the New York Times. I canceled my subscription the other day. I felt, it was like this great weight was lifted from my shoulders.
The unburdened Joe diGenova. Thank you, Joe. Great talking with you.
You bet.
All right, coming up, we are going to continue our full coverage on this Monday morning with the new look Twitter. Twitter is no more. What is it now? We'll tell you all about it, because X marks the spot.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9.
News now
On News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
O'Connor and Company.
Man, this morning is just flying by. That's what happens when things are busy on a Monday morning, but we're glad that you have carved out some time to be with us. We appreciate it. At 8:05, Sal Lagonia is going to join us. He's an attorney, a pilot. He's an analyst for the airline industry. And we're going to find out what your rights are if you're stuck on a tarmac for hours on end, like we heard those poor passengers last week. And then at 8:35, Tom, the Blowfish Herd. I want you to get, I want a nickname like the Blowfish, Julie Gunlock. I know there are some people who call me a blowhard around here, but it's a very different story.
If you'd like me to call you Blowhard or I'm happy to.
Well, I want you to mean it, though. I don't want you to just do it because you're compelled to. All right, we'll figure it out. Anyway, the Blowfish will join us, talk about Shark Week this week, and especially this phenomenon of cocaine sharks. I mean, the screenplay writes itself. All right, that's all coming up. Meanwhile, if you tweet, if you are on Twitter, if you are interested in what's going on the social media platform of Twitter, you might be shocked to learn that Twitter is, well, it's not Twitter anymore, frankly. I mean, you can still access it at twitter.com, but when you go there, the ubiquitous blue bird is gone.
That's right.
And now there's just a mysterious X.
Not exactly mysterious.
Mr. X. It's like a super spy. The entire platform is now going through the transformation to be called X. Elon Musk sort of talked about this. In fact, Elon Musk has purchased for himself X.com. X.com, which, I mean, that had to have cost a lot of money. To get a one-letter .com is that's. No kidding. But he is the richest man in the world, so I guess he can get it. If you go to X.com right now, you'll get a website that looks just like Twitter.
Really?
Because it is Twitter. Yeah, X.com now sends you to Twitter. And X.com is basically the new iteration of what Elon Musk always envisioned with Twitter. So Twitter was a social media platform, basically so people could share information, share their thoughts, share their ideas, share links to their stories or videos or articles that they've seen and things like that, or pictures, what have you. He's just now recently added subscriptions so that creators can actually build a following and earn money by creating content behind a paywall for people, which is fine. He's trying to make it competitive with YouTube and TikTok by allowing video creators to be able to get revenue share and draw audiences, and that seems to be working. By the way, let's not forget, he fired half of the staff over there.
Yes, he did.
And it seems like the company is doing just fine.
Yeah.
And now his new president, Linda Yaccarino, announced last night that it's official. X is now here. And X.
Look, we had some. It was. Hold on. This is the thing that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, around like an hour ago, I looked over in the corner. I actually said it to you and Heather, and I was like, "Hey, the X is here," because there was a little bird.
Right. When we started this morning at 4,
so
there was a bird.
Sometime around 6:30, whatever.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I'm still tweeting. There are nouns and verbs that have come from this platform.
Right.
So, because he did say we'll get rid of the birds altogether. Because he said first there'll be the X, then we'll get rid of the birds altogether. So, am I going to start Xing? Like it will be interesting to see what this turns into.
Yeah, it is a weird thing because you think you built this brand, and before you bought the company, part of what you were buying was the logo, the image, the idea of tweets and Twitter and all that stuff, and now you're chucking that all away. And I'm not going to second guess Elon Musk because he seems to have made some pretty good choices along the way. Here's how Linda Yaccarino describes exactly what X is doing. You tell me if you can make heads or tails of this. I mean, you can sort of figure out a little bit, but also a lot of this sounds like gobbledygook. It sounds like, somebody who puts together a business plan and they're not quite sure what they want to do, but they want to dazzle you with a lot of words and concepts. Here, listen. X is the future state of unlimited interactivity, centered in audio, video, messaging, payments, and banking, creating a global marketplace for ideas, goods, services, and opportunities. Powered by AI, X will connect us all in ways we're just beginning to imagine. Yet try me. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't want to imagine it. Show me a picture. It's an exceptionally rare thing in life or in business that you get a second chance to make another big impression. Twitter made one massive impression and changed the way we communicate. Now X will go further, transforming the global town square. So there's definitely a commerce aspect of this. I mean, is he trying to meld a social media company with a media company with an eBay, banking, PayPal, Venmo kind of company?
Yeah, I don't like that because I like diversity, diversifying things. I don't like everything being on one platform. I will also say the X looks menacing. The bird was chubby and cute. The one thing I liked about Twitter was the chubby blue bird, and also just this idea of chitter chatter, chat, is like the tweeting of birds.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
I thought it was really smart.
Yeah.
I thought also the basically the idea of a bird flying and being, having no borders or limits. You could just, you can talk to someone anywhere in the world. So I'm frankly sad that they got rid of the little fat bird because he was cute.
That's an aesthetic thing, but I get it. That is
X
important.
looks very menacing. It's in black, and it
black and
very...
white. A white X on a black background. This is an interim new logo, by the way. Apparently, they're still going to work on a more permanent logo, but. X.com has something that he has always been toying with, basically what he calls the Everything app. And part of the purchase of Twitter was purchasing basically a giant customer base that's already there going to this website to do all these other things. I mean, listen, people who are active users on Twitter, they're there all the time.
Oh, I'm there all day,
all day long. So, I mean, we'll see what he can do. Now, what's interesting is that there are people, saying, well, I mean, what in God's name does Elon Musk know about financial transactions online? I don't know if he's got. It's like, dude made all his money on PayPal.
Yep.
It's like, these experts out there? No, there are these experts who just decided they hate Elon Musk because he doesn't march to their drum, and so now they're just either ignorant or they're lying. Don't count this guy out. He knows what he's doing. But whether people will buy into this idea of an everything app here. He wants to create an app similar to WeChat, which is currently used in China. It's part of a fabric of day-to-day life. Use it to communicate, to consume news, to buy things, to pay your rent, to book appointments with your doctor, and even to pay fines to the government. It's the Everything app. And this is the guy who basically created Tesla, created SpaceX, and was a part and parcel to PayPal. All of those companies have changed the way our society works and our culture works. So this is his vision, but I'm with you. I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket.
Right.
And I'm not sure I'm into it, but we'll see.
I like the fat bird. That's all I have to say. I miss the fat bird.
You know what, Elon, if you want to get Julie on your side, you got to come up with some little cartoon animal. Is there an animal that begins with the letter X?
I don't know. It's too early for that, Larry. I can't think of that. But how
about zebra spelled with an X?
Could be.
Zebra.
I just bring back the bird.
Bring back. I think we've just established the fact that you like your cute little critters, right? Your little bird. You miss your little Twitter bird. You want your little fun little critters.
I do. There's nothing wrong with that.
And when we do critter news, oftentimes it's about, little foxes and little furry pandas and things like that. And that's always fun. It puts people in a happy mood. They like their critters.
Yes.
Yeah, not this time.
Oh, dear. What do we got? Yeah, there we go.
This would be
You timed this. I wait till August to go on vacation.
This would be a critter news segment about the monsters of the deep, the man-eating machines, great white sharks. But sharks are bad enough, right? But what if a shark is like hopped up on cocaine? Think of the Hunter Biden of sharks, ripping into your flesh with its razor sharp teeth and just going on a. Feeding frenzies are already bad. Have you seen an actual video of a shark frenzy, a feeding frenzy? Then throw Coke into the mix.
Oh.
It's like.
And if you haven't seen Cocaine Bear, and you should, because it is fun. I saw it. I loved it. It's very dangerous to put animals on cocaine.
Well, and as you can imagine, these sharks get on cocaine because they are off the coast of Florida, where there happens to be a bit of a drug trade going on. A lot of times, as boats are being approached by the Coast Guard or by military vessels, they will just dump the cocaine overboard. And that goes somewhere. It goes right up the shark's nose. They're doing lines down in the shores. I think that's how it works.
I
don't
know.
I'm pretty sure.
So according to these two scientists, I feel like this is
our executive producer Heather Utter.
I feel like
just done a mashup Photoshop of Hunter Biden with a shark. It's like they're gonna have to rewrite Baby Shark now. Coked up shark, snort, 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 snort. Coked up shark, snort, 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 snort.
Now, I like anyone enjoy Shark Week, but I think this might be for the ratings, Larry.
Oh.
I don't actually think there's a major problem with cocaine.
Are you telling me that Shark Week has jumped itself?
I think it's that. I think it has.
60 feet below the surface, a sandbar shark was seen swimming in tight circles, appearing fixated on an object that was not there. Next, they tested how sharks reacted to the packages they dropped in the water, which were similar in size and shape to cocaine bales. They placed the fake bales next to dummy swans and are shocked to watch the sharks head directly for the bales, take bites out of them, with one shark even swimming away with one of them. Mine.
I don't believe any of this.
Strangely, one of these sharks got a job as a Hollywood executive at Paramount.
I love that one of the shark apparently talking to something that isn't there. It's like that lady on the plane. That's where she is.
That MFer is not real.
That's not real. And that she became a shark and swam away.
Well, the good news is sharks can still get jobs as board members of Burisma. No questions asked. And maybe they were just watching Shark Week in the White House a couple of weeks ago, and they were just getting ready for it. And that's why they dropped the baggie of cocaine.
I love these. I love this. They do this whole special. They make it sound, like marine biologist Tom Hurd, wanted to investigate whether or not sharks were high on cocaine.
Yeah.
But then at the end it says, Hurd said their experiments don't prove that there's drug-addicted sharks, but it sure is good for ratings.
So are you questioning Mr.
Yes.
Hurd's scientific bona fides here? Well, he's going to be joining us at 8:35. Bring it up directly with him.
I will.
You take it up with the Blowfish.
Yes, I will.
Tom the Blowfish Hurd at 8:35. Right now it's 7:50. Coming up, we've got our big 8 o'clock hour, and you're going to be a part of it. What happens if you're caught on a tarmac and they won't let you go to the bathroom? Do you have rights as an airline passenger? We're going to get into it with Sal Lagonia, an expert in these matters. He's joining us next. And the aforementioned Mr. Blowfish, Tom Hurd, on Shark